We're taking a look at L brands today, in specific, the Victoria's Secret brand in there. Is that, am I right on that, Landon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we want to look at the swimwear inside of Victoria's Secret, because this is kind of an interesting development for them, because they stopped the swim line 2 years ago. And if you bring up that chart, you can see that, swim was a very popular thing for Victoria's Secret, got people in the store and people talking about it online, buying those swimsuits from Victoria's Secret. They stopped at 2017, 2018. And what's interesting is Target appears to be the company that picked up the slack from that. So people were going to Target to get bathing suits and swimsuits instead of Victoria's Secret. It was a pretty, I think in retrospect, a bad decision by management, a fairly incompetent decision, and now they're bringing it back. And so there's a lot of people celebrating the fact that Victoria's Secret is bringing back swimwear. And what's interesting is they're taking it back from Target, essentially. If you look at where Target is now versus last year, they're down a decent percentage at this point in time on swimwear alone. Again, this is just swimwear, but so it may not impact Target tremendously. But what's interesting is when you look at Victoria's Secret, that's what got people into the store. So they may go in for the swimsuit and they may buy one or two, but they're looking around and they're buying other things as well. And so I think that hurt the brand over the last 2 years. It had to hurt sales tremendously. And the fact that they're bringing it back is a very good sign for the company.
Landon, this is not our first discussion about L brands. We've covered it more than once, and some of the coverage, frankly, has been a little negative, but you really can't ignore what's happening on that chart and the recovery that it's making.
Absolutely, yeah. And just to be clear, this chart is just for Victoria's Secret swimwear. So it's a pretty narrow chart. It's pretty dialed in. It's not L brands overall, but you can see the impact that it had on Target, and just the fact that, again, people are going into the stores to look at swimsuits, Victoria's Secret, and they're buying other things. And so it was a pretty bad decision to take it out for the last 2 years. And so it kind of shows a little incompetence by the management side, but to their credit, they're not stubborn. At least they're realizing their mistake and bringing it back. So I think that's very good for the company moving forward.
Reverse throttle.
Reverse throttle. And thanks for reminding me, Landon, because I need to go out and get me a new swimsuit. Board shorts, the long board shorts are out for guys. Remember that. Out for guys, board shorts. But for more,
have nothing I can say to that comment.
But for more on social media, let's bring in Evelyn Baker from TD Ameritrade Network.
Evelyn Baker.
Evelyn
Hi.
Baker. This stock has fallen about 70% from its all-time highs. It's just been a falling knife over the last year. But what are you seeing on social media as far as this company goes? Are we seeing any positive comments?
I am seeing some positive comments, but not as much as I'm seeing people on social media talking about its competitors and talking about Target being a big competitor when they drop their swim line and people opting for those lower prices. American Eagle's Aerie brand has also been a very large competitor in the sphere, as well as those Instagram online markets with influencers selling those smaller brand bathing suits and other lingerie items as well.
Now, that brings up a good point with Instagram and the influencers and them posting the brand names that they're using, but they want things for free. I mean, do people actually do that? Like where
get things for free?
Well, no, that you'll follow somebody or buy a product based on what an influencer is telling you to do.
I mean, if it's cute in the picture, yeah.
So yes, I get it.
Yes.
All right, you got a tweet for us though.
I do. I think you'll recognize who this user is as well. Our first tweet is from Conan O'Brien. He says, "I'm sorry that Victoria's Secret is closing many of its stores, but excited that I can go to a mall again with my kids."
That's good. That's good. I got nothing to say on that.
Again, I have no compliant comment to make on this subject.
Hey, Landon, but on your data, I mean, that's one of the downturns. It's been one of the downturns and reasons that Victoria's Secret and L brands has struggled so much is that people aren't going to malls anymore. Now, with that reversal on your data as far as swimwear goes, where they're producing it again, is it going to help in the long term because mall traffic continues to dwindle?
Right. I think that they're fighting an uphill battle with that, no doubt. But at least now the people will start to go into stores. And I'll tag on with what Conan said. That was a great tweet. But Victoria's Secret basically gave up on sexy, which which makes it a pretty bad secret. And so now that they're adding back swimwear and they're trying to get people sexy again, I think that that's going to be good for them. If it's one thing that we've learned over the last year from, if you guys remember our bearish call on Weight Watchers, our bullish call on Planet Fitness, people are interested in looking good. That did not go away, no matter how politically correct you want to get about things. And so bringing back swimsuits, getting people feeling sexy is going to help Victoria's Secret, no doubt.
Hey Landon, real quick, does Bath & Body Works even measure on the Richter scale with this company, or is this all Victoria's Secret?
No, it's a decent portion of it, absolutely. And what's interesting from our data point is that those are lower purchase prices overall, and so we have to kind of watch when people are talking about buying something from Bath & Body. We have to kind of weight that a little bit lower than when they're talking about going into Victoria's Secret, because they definitely spend more money per visit or per mention, I guess, at Victoria's Secret. It's on the scale. It's not a non-factor for sure. But it's definitely, Victoria's Secret is the one to watch.
All right, Evelyn, you got another tweet for us, though.
Definitely. And speaking to what Landon was saying about people wanting to look good, this tweet is focused on its inclusivity with what typically looks good. Our next tweet is from Liv. She says Aerie not only has higher quality products than Victoria's Secret, but they are also cheaper and don't isolate their trans and plus size customers. There's literally no reason to shop at VS when these stores are in the same malls. Speaking specifically to the American Eagle brand and also the flack that it's been getting recently based on what is considered sexy in culture.
Yeah, and I think it's all about trends too, right? Influencers, trends, more than anything, because if they're both in the mall, it's just what's popular at that time, and that switches. Doesn't it switch every other day or every other month, it seems like?
Isn't the purchasers and the people that run the products, aren't they the most important people in a clothing brand store like this, right? I mean, if you make the wrong choice, it could do major damage to a stock.
Well, it's already done major damage to this stock.